So what is report? A report is a formal way of giving information, your key findings, and also analysis in a structured format. What is the purpose of report? There are many purposes of report, but there are two key purpose. That is to present relevant information in an ordered way. Secondly, to make carefully considered suggestion based on that information. In short, reports are always helpful in decision making because it is a combination of fact and opinion. You are not only analyzing the situation, but also you are going to give your suggestions, recommendation on that particular situation. So it is a combination of facts and your opinion. So in report, you always do a detailed analysis. So even though you have done detailed analysis, you have to draw a key facts and details in the report. Even though there are many facts, many recommendations you have to draw only key facts and details. So it offers an objective view of situations. Yes, the reports are obviously impersonal. You cannot add any of your personal opinion, personal experience. So based on the real-time situation that you have analyzed, you have to give a report. So okay, how to draft a good report? So you have to mindful about the following suggestion. As we discussed earlier, the reports are impersonal. So you're not going to add any of your personal opinion. So in that case, obviously the language of the report is formal. And most important thing is you have to think about your audience. So based on your audience, you have to use the level of language. For example, if it is for internal purpose, obviously you can use jargons. But if the report is prepared for the common audience, you cannot use any of your jargons because the common audience would not be aware of any of the jargons. So you, based on the audience, you have to draft a report, and based on the audience, you have to keep the language in mind. So use the vocabulary appropriately. Yes. So obviously you can use topic related vocabularies. At the same time, you have to be mindful about your audience. Most important thing in this is you have to sound calm and polite in your report because it is a formal one. Okay, so there are many types of report. In short, I have just given 5 types of report: routine report, special reports, formal report, informal, and analytical report. Okay, the first thing, routine report. So when it comes to routine report, so these are the regular updates on ongoing activities. Nothing extraordinary. For example, the principal is asking for absentee report. The CEO is asking for the sale of that particular product. So it is analyzing the market situation on the existing thing so that they'll be updated. So for that purpose, the routine reports are prepared. Second type of report is special reports. As the name suggested, these reports are prepared on a special circumstances, sometimes extraordinary situation. For an example, special reports to evaluate the impact of a new product launch. Obviously, definitely your opponent company is launching a new product. Definitely it is a threat to your product. So in that case, you will be asked to prepare a report. So why, what is the impact of that new product, how it is affecting your own product. So in that case, you will be preparing a special report. So you will be analyzing all the complex problem that is existing in the market. According to that, you will be making a critical decision. The third one is formal report. As I mentioned earlier, all the reports are formal because it maintains some structured way of reporting ideas, information. So in formal report, definitely you follow the specified structure. There are 8 components: title page, table contents, executive summary, methodology, findings, discussion, recommendation, conclusion. So these 8 components you will be following in the formal Formal reports. Again, based on the topic, you can include any other component or exclude any of the existing component. It is purely based on the topic that you are going to report. So title page, it is just like a index page. What are the things you have included in that report? So table of contents. Executive summary is just a summary what you have dealt in that report, what is it about, why that report is required. So that is existing summary. So methodology, whether you are going to do qualitative analysis or quantitative analysis, for example, whether you are going to collect all the reports through interview or field study, or you just going to refer some books or news. So that is methodology. Then your key findings through the analysis. After that, you will be discussing, you will be comparing, contradicting all the existing data. Then you come to discussion. Then recommendation. Obviously, all the reports are for decision making. So in that case, you're not only analyzing the situation, but also you're going to give your suggestions and recommendation and conclusion of the report. For example, writing a research proposal is example for formal report. The next one is informal report. So here in informal report, we are not going to follow all these previous um, 8 components that is mentioned in the formal report. Here we are free to frame our own components in the report. So it is mostly these kind of informal reports are used in internal communication. For example, memo, email update, short progress report. All these are example for informal report where we don't follow all the structured way of reporting. So the next type of report is analytical report. Mostly analytical reports are used in business to achieve some targeted goals. For example, it assesses possible opportunities, it identifies solution to the problems, and also it supports in decision making like any other reports. Here I would like to mention 2 examples of analytical report. First thing, a report on investigating business opportunity. You want to invest in a company, you want to buy a competitor company, or investigating about a new product venture. So all these are big decision. So before making these kind of decision, definitely you will be analyzing the current market trend. So these are the example of analytical report. The second one, report on problem solving. For example, you just think in a way, you are owning a company, your product continues to break during packing. Definitely, you just analyze the product. So why it continues to break during that too only during packing. So when you just find out the problem, you can solve the problem. So that is the purpose of analytical report. So the next type of report is informational report. Reports are usually informational. The purpose is to give information, but how this report is different from other reports. So in this kind of informational report, we used to give extensive information. It includes data, all other details, feedback, and other type of information. That too, we just give all the factual information. We document all the existing information without analysis or recommendation. That is called informational reports. Overall, whenever we are preparing report, we have to keep one thing in mind. Reports are always objective. In that case, we have to prepare a report. We should be free from all the bias. We have to maintain a neutral position. In that way, we have to prepare a report. I hope you have learned about report writing and the purpose of report writing. Thank you.